my name is Gurjeet Mahan. I'm a geomatics engineering student at York University, and I'm also the president of the Geomatics Club.
And my name is Ryan Wynn, and I'm a third-year geomatics engineering student at York University, and I'm the ambassador of the Geomatics Club.
Today we're going to be explaining and telling you guys about what geomatics is. So what we'll be looking at is where York is, what geomatics is, why York University, and the jobs involving geomatics. So how many people actually know where York University is a big question, because a lot of people don't. So this is basically an aerial image of York University facing south, and this right here is the Petrie Science Building, which I'll show you more in the next slide. So in the top left corner is the Petrie Science Building, where we mostly have all our classes and all our professors are, and we have a lot of our labs there. In the bottom right image is the Bergeron Center for Excellence, which was created in 2016. So this building is actually a newer engineering building, and we hang out here a lot too and have some of our classes in here. So geomatics, York University has the only geomatics program in Ontario, which was established in 2001, which was an engineering program. And the geomatics science stream was established in 2016. This is where York University campus is in relation to the 407 and Highway 400. This is where York University is in relation to all of Toronto. This is where York University is in relation to Ontario. This is where York University is in relation to Canada. And this is where York University is in relation to the entire Earth. So, what is geomatics? It's a science and technology about spatial information. So, where does the word geomatics come from? Its roots are geo, which represents Earth, and geospatial, which is why I was showing you guys the relationship between York University and the entire Earth. Information and automation is the matrix part, and the ICS at the end, X, is a suffix of a noun that denotes a body of knowledge, facts, and principles. For example, physics, aerodynamics, politics, and academics. Geomatics can be basically divided into three of these categories: position and navigation, measurements, sensing, mapping, and spatial awareness and intelligence. So what else does geomatics include? It could be further divided into things like photogrammetry, which is drones and airplanes built, or like building Rome in a day. As you can see in the bottom left corner is an image of a drone. And you can also see in this image right here, you see a airplane basically surveying or scanning the ground below it. GIS, making maps more useful. For example, COVID-19, determining hotspots where a lot of people are, or traffic, which can be seen in this image right here at the bottom left. Computer vision is figuring out what things are so we can figure out where we are. And hydrography is doing things underwater or from a boat, like a submarine or a boat, which can also be seen over here. So other things include GNSS or GPS, which uses weak signals from very far away to figure out where we are. Surveying, it involves heading outside and measuring properties, determining where the property boundary is, making plans, and resolving disputes between neighbors. Geodesy is using gravity to measure or figure out the actual shape of our planet, which is Earth, so we can better position ourselves, as you can see in this little globe at the back. That represents the gravity measurements at different locations. Remote sensing is looking at things from very far away. For example, using satellite imagery to determine the vegetation of certain areas on Earth, or determining how thick a bush is, for example, like a forest.
Why choose York University? Canada only has 3 geomatics engineering programs, with York University being the only geomatics engineering program in all of Ontario. Because of this, we're a small and very great community. Profs are very accessible, responsive, and very nice. As you can see, they enjoy going out to the many events we host, such as here. They just like coming on. They sometimes don't even talk to us about school. They just like talking and getting to know us. We're also sponsored by the AOLS, which is the Association of Ontario Land Surveyors, and we're in contact with a lot and many great businesses. So what does being in the geomatics field get you? Geomatics is in everything we do. Location is for a huge part of the modern world, yet very few people are going to the geomatics industry. 80% of information have a geospatial component. Geospatial data is data with a location associated to it, such as coordinates or an address. Look at these examples, like Pokemon Go and Uber, which use geospatial data for their apps to deliver gym battles in highly populated areas, such as grocery stores, churches, and downtown Toronto should be filled with plenty of these areas. With this information, they place gym locations at these places for players to battle. In Uber's case, they have a map of the many phones connected to their network and find the best optimal route from the car to them and to their location to their destination. There's very valuable information to be delivered, but there's a shortage of geomatics professionals, yet the field is still growing. As an example, we can look at the oldest geomatics profession, surveying. Sadly, 70% of surveyors are over 50 and want to retire soon. Surveying is very critical for any property development, yet there are not many students to take their place. This is a survey of surveyor practitioner salaries of 2018, but they're expected to increase due to the demand. Some other examples of careers are machine learning experts, which our professors say that is where most of the money comes in, which is shown as 900% growth in the GTA. Esri analyst, which I had the opportunity myself to be in during my co-op period, which goes to show the job demand even during a pandemic. And a self-driving expert, which is essential in the car industries, especially the electric vehicle industry, and TTC survey technologist.
So some more career paths to think about in geomatics is BIM. BIM stands for Building Information Modeling. So remember I showed you guys a picture of the Bridge Run Center that was created in 2016. This bottom right image right here shows the Bridge Run Center in a BIM model. So the entire building was first modeled in BIM before actually building it to reduce mistakes. So York's trying to build all their buildings right now using BIM. And other places are trying to follow this new technology to create the buildings, such as TTC or like to create railways. The benefit of BIM is each little layer has information to it. For example, it'll tell you where the plumbing is, where each floor has a washroom, where a water fountain is going to be, and stuff along that. So this is critical to make sure that civil engineering designs actually work before actually building them or going into construction. If you look at the bottom left, it shows utility mapping. This is where governments want to know where their utility actually is located. So subsurface utility mapping and GIS play a big part in this. Car positioning for autonomous vehicles. Figuring out where a car is has a lot to do with the GPS. And then figuring out what obstacles are occurring in front of it has to do with computer vision, which is normally through a camera in the windshield. What this does is it differentiates between a dog and a stroller, or a pedestrian and a light pole, for example. And autonomous vehicles uses a lot of other technology like LiDAR and radar sensors, which is basically a light pulse or a sound wave that penetrates through the proximity of a vehicle to see what's around it. HD mapping is another new technology that has been created, which basically stands for high definition mapping, which is very precise. So it's like 2 centimeter precise location of where the vehicle is within its proximity. Another technology in geomatics is hyperlocal mapping. This is basically making maps for inside buildings, for example, hospitals, airports, and mall navigation. For example, Yorkdale Mall. Suppose I'm in Yorkdale Mall, I download their app, and I'm connected to their Wi-Fi. Now, I don't know where Sports Check is from where I'm at, because it's a very big mall. Now, I could use hyperlocal mapping to determine where I am using their app, because that's what was essentially set up for. So it'll basically find the fastest route, the most efficient route from where I am to Sports Check. So there's also more to geomatics, and all of this relies on the cloud bubble below and all these little words within them. Geomatics is mirrored across many different industries. Many companies are looking at our graduates to see who they could hire and want more in this program because there's so much demand in the industry, but so little enrollment. Basically, 100% of graduates get a job within their first month after graduating. But it's not just in surveying. Many jobs are available in geomatics, and they go from working for Toronto to help get their internal mapping system running, to creating building models for different type of companies, designing better GNSS equipment, to positioning satellites in space, and even self-driving trains and vehicles. So next we're going to have our Ontario Land Surveyor Specialist from the AOLS to speak about how the field of surveying actually works, and this individual is part of the Geomatics Recruitment Committee at the AOLS.
Hi everyone, I'm Cole Rakes and I'm here to answer all your burning questions about the career path of being an Ontario land surveyor. Questions like, what is land surveying? Why is land surveying important for society? Why would you be interested in land surveying? What kind of education do you need? What kind of skills do you need? And most importantly, How much does a land surveyor make? In the mid to late 1800s, under the direction of the Canadian government, surveyors cut through thousands of kilometers of thick forest to establish the townships that make up the dozens of counties and districts throughout Ontario today. During this time, surveyors literally used a chain, a theodolite, and the stars as their tools to cut out and map all of Ontario. Today, we utilize the technological advances of GPS, the internet, drones, and robotics to help measure and map more accurately and efficiently in the 21st century than our 19th century counterparts ever could. This brings us to our burning question number 2. Yes, land surveying was important in the early 19th century to map out Ontario, but why is it important today? Land surveyors are critical in the development of new subdivisions, condominiums, highway expansion, municipal planning, and real estate transactions. Land surveyors can answer questions like, who owns that fence in my backyard? How big of a house can I build on a vacant lot? Is the beach that I like to go swimming with my friends private property? And does that pesky neighbor keep coming over onto my land? Land surveying is an essential service. Not only do I think so, but the Ontario government does too. It included land surveying in its Phase 1 reopening plan after the lockdown from COVID-19. So, why would you be interested in land surveying? As I just mentioned, the importance of land surveying is critical to how our society functions and operates. The prospect of a stable supply of work is very appealing to basically anybody who wants to enjoy a long and prosperous career. If you enjoy math and problem solving, but often wonder how math can be used in a practical job setting, you should consider land surveying as a career option. You see, land surveying is like a mathematical puzzle. Pieces of the land fit together in a sort of jigsaw puzzle, and sometimes, after so many years, the puzzle pieces go missing. And it is up to a land surveyor to make sure that these missing puzzle pieces are put back in their rightful place. As a land surveyor, you could be working outside and also inside, an office job, and making site visits to make sure everything moves smoothly. Now that I've piqued your interest, your next burning question is, how do you become an Ontario land surveyor? Well, a university degree is required. Enrolling in the Geomatics program offered at Lassonde School of Engineering through York University will get you started on the right path. Once graduating, there is one more step to go before you can launch your professional career. You will need to complete a 2 to 4 year articling process. During your articles, you will be mentored by an experienced Ontario land surveyor who will prepare you to write your professional examinations. Yes, becoming an Ontario land surveyor is hard work, but definitely worth it. No matter how you cut it, there's just no denying that land surveying is a great career choice. I hope you can use the information in this presentation to get a leg up on planning your career.
Thank you for viewing our presentation. We strongly hope that you got something out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us on Facebook at facebook.com/geocyu, or you can contact the Association of Ontario Land Surveyors if you want to know more about land surveyors. WSP also has a little hub about geomatics. You can go on Esri to find more about GIS. And if you just want to speak to the Lassonde School of Engineering to know more about the Geomatics Engineering program, feel free to click on the link at the bottom. These links will also be provided in the bio below. Thank you very much.